Every single day, users upload 720,000 hours of video to YouTube. That is roughly 82 years of continuous human experience documented every 24 hours. Yet, the videos you actually watch make up a fraction of a percent of this total. What you see on your homepage is a highly sanitized bubble. Algorithms curate this top layer to keep you engaged and comfortable. Beneath that glossy surface lies an unindexed digital graveyard, holding the remaining billions of abandoned files. This disconnected void operates outside the rules of visibility. Without an algorithm to police it, the graveyard preserves the rawest and darkest aspects of human nature, sitting in silence until obsessive digital sleuths manage to unearth them. Society possesses a natural instinct to hide disturbing media. We moderate, we delete, and we scrub. But burying these artifacts only supercharges the curiosity of online investigators, turning forgotten data into the ultimate prize. The drive to manipulate the media for terror is older than the internet. In the late 1960s, a killer operating in the San Francisco Bay Area wanted to force his way into the public consciousness. To do that, he had to hijack physical media. The Zodiac killer mailed letters directly to local newsrooms. He used the newspapers to bypass the police, delivering encrypted ciphers to millions of morning readers and demanding they print his threats on the front page. One of those messages, known as the Z340 cipher, arrived in November 1969. It was an arrogant puzzle containing 340 characters that stumped the FBI, the CIA, and frustrated amateur codebreakers for over 51 years. Solving it required an intense, almost unhinged level of obsession. This diagram illustrates the Z340 cipher exactly as the killer mailed it. For decades, experts assumed it was a simple substitution code, where one symbol equaled one letter. In 2020, an international team of programmers realized the killer had added a layer of transposition, shifting the letters according to a specific physical layout. By applying a diagonal reading rule, moving one symbol down and two to the right across the grid, they broke the encryption. The garbled text aligned into chillingly clear sentences, including the phrase gas chamber. The crack in the Z340 cipher proved that even the most obscure analog secrets eventually succumb to modern computational power. As that same spirit of technological excavation turns toward the unpoliced depths of the internet, it is unearthing a different kind of archive, one where the horrors were never encrypted to begin with. In 1996, the internet was a fragile, expanding frontier. American tech entrepreneur Brewster Kahle founded the Internet Archive with a sweeping mission: to preserve all human digital history by actively copying pages to its own servers. Kahle introduced the Wayback Machine, using automated web crawling technology to indiscriminately scrape and store websites. But these automated crawlers possess no moral compass. By saving the historical, they inadvertently locked away the horrific. The early 2000s Web 1.0 era lacked the strict moderation guidelines we navigate today. It was a chaotic, self-hosted landscape where people could post their darkest thoughts without triggering an algorithmic ban. Take the case of Joseph Duncan. In 2005, he maintained a public journal called The Fifth Nail. Deep in the archive, you can read his daily posts tracking a descent into paranoid delusions. He meticulously documented his unraveling mind mere days before committing a series of brutal, random murders in Idaho. Completely unregulated digital interaction allowed extreme subcultures to flourish in the open. The Cannibal Cafe was a forum dedicated to depraved fantasies. In 2001, Armin Meiwes used the site to advertise for a willing victim, orchestrating a real-world murder entirely through public message boards. The shift from analog to digital removed the friction. Serial killers no longer needed to mail complex ciphers to newspapers to document their crimes. They hosted their depravity in plain sight, and the internet's automated preservation tools ensured it was archived permanently. Today, modern users treat these archives as vast archaeological dig sites. The lost media community is driven by a relentless urge to track down the origins of deleted history, viewing every broken link as a mystery that demands to be solved. But decoding the Zodiac ciphers serves a public good. Applying that same obsessive energy to random civilians yields a different result. When Redditors discovered TikTok.com used to be a family's innocent 1990s blog, they treated the family's private life like a puzzle. They tracked down addresses and court papers, effectively gang-stalking civilians who had done nothing wrong. This community will hunt down targets with zero historical value. Hundreds of users mobilized to find a deleted video titled Play 2, uploaded by an obscure channel. The original clip only ever had 77 views. The massive effort to locate it became completely decoupled from whether the video actually meant anything. This is where digital sleuthing crosses the line. Without a genuine crime to solve, the hunt for lost data rots into toxic voyeurism. It is an obsession over data that simply shouldn't matter. This iceberg chart perfectly illustrates the structure of video hosting. The curated content you see daily makes up roughly 4% of the platform. An astounding 96% of videos on YouTube have fewer than 10,000 views. This bottom layer, totally orphaned from the algorithm, is known as deep YouTube. You can identify these disconnected orphans by their titles. Because they are often dumped straight from a smartphone or digital camera with zero intention of reaching an audience, they default to raw file names, like img_7997. Searching for these default prefixes pulls up endless mundane clips, but it also surfaces unnerving artifacts. The channel Blue Water posted multiple videos under these raw file names, depicting what appears to be severed human faces tightly wrapped in shrink wrap, sitting quietly on a server. Other unindexed files offer glimpses into restricted physical realities. 2 urban explorers infiltrated the Guardian Telephone Exchange, a top-secret nuclear-proof communications bunker dug 112 feet beneath Manchester in the 1950s. They uploaded their grainy footage, leaving pure, unnarrated documentation abandoned online. Deep YouTube terrifies us precisely because it lacks a creator's guiding context. There is no background music, zero human commentary, and no algorithmic curation. It is uncurated human existence screaming silently into a void. We designed the internet as a simple tool to connect computers together. Over decades, its automated archiving and endless servers grew into an infinite, uncompromising mirror, reflecting human nature back at us. The Zodiac mailing his physical ciphers to newspapers, Web 1.0 killers posting their diaries on public blogs, and anonymous users dumping zero-view nightmare fuel into video servers are all driven by the exact same impulse. Humans possess an innate, unavoidable desire to document their darkness. The only difference is the digital strata where it gets preserved. Digital archaeology allows us to retrieve what was intended to be erased, stripping away the privacy of the past. But we must ultimately accept that some things buried in the digital dirt are better left in the dark.